Welcome to the Nagual Zone. My name is Anaam. The difference between gurus and benefactors. I did a video on this topic a while back. Links coming up, check it out. In there, a user called Satyendra Mishra. He left a comment which I promised I'd make a video on. The comment is a bit long, but I'll read it out for you. Hi Anaam, I've read Carlos Castaneda's books and some other books on spirituality. And it seems all talk about a Satori experience, also called losing the human form. There is a difference between what is popularly called enlightenment, which is really a fantasy that is indulged in by the unenlightened. Let me repeat that again. Think about this. Think on this. Think on this as long as you want. This itself will bring you a certain kind of insight into the human condition, which is your condition. Enlightenment is a fantasy indulged in by the unenlightened. Enlightenment, Satori, is a fantasy indulged in by the unenlightened. I'll leave you with that one. So the first misdirection is happening here in Satyendra's thinking. And Satyendra he's been kind enough to leave a comment here and ask for wisdom. So it's not really Satyendra that is being singled out, as it were, right? We're using Satyendra's excellent question to explore the Toltec viewpoint on these, okay? So he says, all of them talk about a Satori experience, but I still can't wrap my mind to accept that as real. Good job. Don't accept it as real because it is a fantasy indulged in by the unenlightened. It is kind of like believing in God. Everyone's going to have their own bloody little religion about it. Go on a hunt. Go, if you need to, go on a hunt, worldwide hunt. Go to Tibet and go Timbuktu, wherever you want to go, and hang out with these enlightenment chasers, these seekers. Hang out with the gurus if you can even get close to them. And observe. You will see they're all living out fantasies. Every single one of them. They're all living out fantasies of some level of self-importance. Really that simple. There are very few exceptions throughout history that I have seen who a Toltec warrior could say, you know, that human being is not self-deluded. I'll tell you a few names. Check these names out. You want to get deep into these names. You want to ravish everything there is on the internet, books, that is on these people, right? First and foremost, the Nagual's Nagual, the king of kings, the ultimate beast mode badass. Write this name down. U.G. initials. U.G. Krishnamurti. U.G. Krishnamurti. Not that other guy, the popular one, the cardboard cutout. You don't want him. You want the real deal. U.G. Krishnamurti. Second one, Alan Watts. Popular, but just as effective. Alan Watts. Eckhart Tolle, very popular. People think they get him in an instant. Oh, yeah, I know what Eckhart Tolle is talking about. I've read The Power of Now. You ain't done nothing. You do not understand what he's saying. You don't even know how to be present. What the hell are you talking about? You read The Power of Now. Okay? So these are the starting names. There are a few others, but they're few and far between. Raman Maharshi, another name, Raman Maharshi. And the last, not the least in this pantheon of titans, Nisargadatta Maharaj. A gentleman called Nisargadatta Maharaj. These are the personalities that I tend to refer people to. They lived out truly losing the human form and did not fall back into self-delusion again, you know, and didn't fall prey to power tripping, which is the most common. Once you lose your human form, power tripping is your next biggest enemy. And if, unlike a Toltec warrior, you have had no training in hunting your own self-importance, guess what's going to happen? Okay, so reorientations right here of our perspective, yeah? I'm a very logical person and right now failing to accept the theories without seeing any evidence. I don't see anything wrong with that. That's great. Failing to accept the theories, exactly, theories, without seeing any evidence. Now here's the rub with losing the human form. You won't, how does a blind person recognize colors? Those colors can be described to the blind person. In fact, tell me, I'll pause for a minute. You can pause the video if you want and try and describe the color yellow. Put it into words. How would you describe the color yellow to someone? Try it. Give it a go. Your machine mind will not be able to cope with what you could call an abstract reality. The yellow color is a damn reality. It's as real as it gets. Yellow color, red color, neon color, blue. Colors are reality, okay? But there's no way to describe them at all. The machine mind can't operate in those circumstances. So you see, there's a lot about reality that you may think you know, but my friend, you really know nothing. It's just your machine mind that has convinced you that its way of describing everything endlessly is a good way. In fact, it's convinced you that it's the only way. It's like a virus. It inhabits you. It gets you plugged into its matrix. That it is the only way to perceive reality. Okay, so he says, right now failing to accept the theories without seeing any evidence. The problem with evidence is that only the machine mind seeks it. Now here's a real spanner in the works of the neat and orderly machine mind with its little files and its whole inventory of words and its library of descriptions. It's all very neat and tidy, and we feel very safe in this world when we are like that. And we look for evidence in the scientific method, and if it can be proved and it can be replicated in independent studies everywhere, yes, then it is part of reality. Nonsense. To the Toltec warrior, facts are worthless. They are worthless. Imagine, let me tell you about facts from the Toltec perspective. From the average man's perspective, what I'm saying doesn't make any sense because the Toltec world, a separate reality, does not make any sense to the average man. Carlos Castaneda struggled for decades to make sense of even one thing about what the crow was trying to teach him. He just couldn't get his mind away from the prison of his machine mind. The scientific mind, the facts-based mind, the facts. You know what facts are like for the Toltec? Imagine that you collected your own shit in the morning, yeah, in a little jar. You collected it in a jar, and you wanted to post a letter. So you took that letter to the post office, you took that jar to the post office, jar full of your own shit. And you said, I want to post this letter first class, please. Signed delivery, here's my payment, and you give them that jar of shit as payment. What do you think that postman's going to do? That post office is going to do? They're going to have you in chains, locked up as a mad person, especially if you insist, no, this is valid payment. Yeah, facts are that worthless in the Toltec realms, in the Toltec warriors world. Facts are that worthless. There's no transaction that can happen with facts in the Toltec's world. I can promise you this. Nothing, none whatsoever. There's just nothing can happen. You can give me facts and there's nothing I can do with them. And if you really looked deeply, there's nothing you can do with them either. There's nothing you can do with them. Nothing. Facts never made anyone grow, you know that? Magic makes people grow and evolve and become more powerful. And your magic, you can either have your facts and have your mind made up, or you can have the magic. You get to choose which one. So, he says that his mind theories without seeing any evidence. In this context, you can keep looking for evidence made, but nothing will satisfy you because it is a subjective reality. It is not an objective reality, especially in the beginning stages. So you can keep looking for evidence, but you will find none. So you have to let go of that criteria to empower your searching. Okay? Now the problem with letting go of facts and evidence, the next question comes, but then how will I know what's real? Aha! You see how the machine mind's got you in its grip. You do not know any other way to perceive reality and to arrive at knowing, not knowledge, knowing from your body. You cannot trust your body because facts, science, evidence, I need to see evidence. Evidence is very important, but in the right context. In this context, there's nothing you can do. You keep looking for evidence, you won't find anything. You have to learn to trust your body and what your body is signaling to you. That's the closest way I can come to trying to describe something other than facts and science and evidence and all these kind of things, right? Now, they have their place, right? They have their place. In this context, there's nothing you can do with them. Okay, moving on. So here we have, I'm not able to instill discipline, to meditate every day, or cultivate inner silence, as I am still too much attached to my body and desires and not convinced if the Toltec path experiences is real. I can just imagine Morpheus from the movie The Matrix asking you, what is real? What do you define as being real? If real is a consensus reality, just a series of agreements between you and the average fellow man, that is a sorry state of description of reality indeed. The limitation of that reality, so-called reality, compared to what is actually is sad indeed. So what is real? You're going to have to reevaluate that. What is real for you? And you know what you will find? You will find whatever fits your indoctrination. You label that as real. This is what you'll find. This work ideally should be done and you arrive at these insights by yourself through contemplation, through inner work. But I'm just giving you these freebies. I challenge you, go and find inside yourself what you think is real is merely what you've been indoctrinated into, and when it fits the descriptions of your indoctrination, you satisfactorily tick that as real. And if it doesn't fit the demands and subscriptions of your indoctrinations, your mind shuts down, confusion happens, you cannot describe what you're seeing, and if you cannot describe what you're seeing or experiencing, it either may not be real, or it's not important enough, or it's terrifying. The three classic denials of the machine mind, which creates schizophrenic human beings. So here he says, I can ask you if you have experienced this yourself, but I'm not sure if I'd be able to believe that too and just take your word for it. Now, I love this attitude. This attitude, whether you believe it or not, is going to actually take you very far in the Toltec system. It's a bit of a contradiction because you cannot depend on what your definition of reality is. You can't be looking for evidence because you ain't going to find any. However, the attitude is brilliant. You want to keep this attitude. Don't take anyone's word for anything. I've repeatedly said on these videos, I'm just here stalking. You're not going to get anything out of these videos, at least not much, right? This is no secret. I've said this again and again. It's just bloody videos on YouTube. Some geezer like me making videos. I could be, do you know what I mean? How do you know? How do you know? In fact, I have a video. Check it out. Very early days, I made a video called How Do I Know? Check that one out. It deals with this topic. Any suggestions on how I can build up the conviction so that dedication starts to come naturally to me and I can experience these experiences myself? Great comment. Great comment. Suggestions on how I can build up the conviction. You've got to understand two things. There's a cost to everything, especially for the Toltec. Every piece of knowledge that you will ever gain, just that tiny sliver of knowledge that will be bestowed upon you, will have a cost. Will have a cost to it. Mainly, it'll cost you your self-importance. And the average man does not even know what self-importance really is, let alone pay it in cost. So, you're going to have to figure out the cost of something. And where this is leading is, how badly do you want to know? I can tell you that 99% of seeking, no, 99.9% of seeking and seekers, and no matter how serious they think they are, they're looking for entertainment. They're looking for relief from the pressures of life, from the pressure of living. But it's couched under some kind of seeking. You're never going to find freedom with that approach, but you will find relief. You know, Tony Robbins will give you relief. Dalai Lama will give you relief. Becoming a monk in Tibet will give you some relief. For 40 odd years, you'll have wasted your bloody time. Where you shave your head and wear the robes and chant every day and ring the bells and the gongs and do all that stuff. You'll just get a little bit of relief. You will never be able to stay the pressure, because that pressure is coming. It's the pressure of your death. You'll find some relief, some distraction. Only, in my experience, in my observation only, the Toltec path is the only path I've found that promises true freedom and doesn't take anything less than that. It doesn't take anything less than that. Anything less than that is not good enough for the Toltec warrior. We're gunning for true freedom. And anything that distracts me from it, anything that takes me away from cultivating that, is not worth wasting my time with. You see what I mean? Now, on the other hand, a Toltec apprentice could be asked by a benefactor, go and become a Buddhist monk, shave your head, get into the robes, or join a seminary or some bullshit like that, because there will be a strategic point to it. So you see, it's not the doing of these things that's worthless, it's where you're coming from with it. How badly do you want to know? How badly do you want to know? You know, I'll tell you something. It's a very common saying. It's a very common thought form. But I really made it work for me. The first time I heard it in my life, from then on, it almost became the God I worshipped. And it has been my best friend. It has given me so much, just this one thought form. Do you want to know what it is? I'll tell you, you've heard this before, but you've never applied it. And I want you to apply this. I want you to go on a whole journey of decades learning what the hell does this mean in my practical everyday life. I'll tell you what that thought form is. Where there is a will, there is a way. Where there is a will, there is a way. It is really a variation of my last video, where I talked about the 1,000 keys, a lock with 1,000 keys. It's exactly the same thing. Where there's a will, there's a way. How can I develop the dedication to be disciplined? You ain't got the will, mate. You're sitting on the fence with everything. You're hiding behind your machine mind. What would happen if you stopped paying homage, bowing your knee, subscribing to the club of, paying allegiance to your indoctrinated machine mind? What would happen? Can you imagine how personal power would start becoming yours? Can you see that? So there's a lot of stepping out you have to do first before, and a lot of introspection you have to do, and a lot of gut level honesty you have to get in touch with. Get very honest. Do I actually want to know? What's the cost am I willing to pay for this? And where there's a will, there's a way. I'm going to have to start somewhere. I'm going to have to dip my feet somewhere. I can't sit on the fence and just, but, you know, oh, but, you know, yeah, but, I see, but. There's always a but. Instead, get your butt off the fence. Take one thing and jump into it. Jump into it. See what happens. All my apprentices, they learn this very quickly. They learn to develop unbending intent. You know where unbending intent comes from? Where there's a will, there's a way. How can I develop the discipline? There's no process to it. You ain't going to be doing any weekend workshops. No gurus are going to help you. You're going to have to just get disciplined. You will hate every second of it. You'll want to run away. You'll want to do something else. You want to watch a Netflix movie instead. You want to binge on chocolates. But she is going to sit and develop that discipline. That warrior, she's going to get her ass onto whatever it is that she needs to be doing and get it done. Where there's a will, there's a way. That's how it works. I didn't make these rules. These are the rules of the dimension which we exist. And you can either get with the program or evolution will kill you off. Literally. It's up to you. Choice is yours. So instead of asking, oh, I don't have the dedication, how do I get disciplined? Yeah, well, you're just going to wrestle with it. And you're going to have to make a timetable and stick with it and all those things. Educate yourself. There are plenty of videos on YouTube how to become more disciplined. Watch 100 of them. Set yourself a task. I'll watch 100 videos on discipline. I'll read 100 articles on discipline. I'll read 100 books on discipline. I'll learn everything I can about discipline. I did exactly this 2.5 decades ago. No, it wasn't that long. 2 decades ago. I did exactly this. You know what the topic was for me? Humility. Humbleness. I went on a whole self-education rampage in those days. It lasted about 2 years. A whole rampage on what the hell is humility. What does this word actually mean? How does it being humble actually work in this world? Is it an empowering position? I've been told is the moral high ground. Being humble is a good thing. Yeah, but is it a good thing? Is it going to weaken me? What the hell is this humility? How does it actually work? That led me on to, it was amazing because that was the starting point, and that led me more than a decade later, to becoming an expert hunter of my own self-importance. That doesn't make me perfect and doesn't make me perfectly humble. There's no such thing. But it educated me far beyond the talents and means of the average man. You see, that's how it works. So if you want to learn about discipline, how you can be committed and focused, yeah, well, you're just going to have to get on with it, mate. You're going to have to figure out how you can get this to work for you. You see, the point being, there's no answers that will ever satisfy you. There's no evidence that you will believe. You're going to have to cultivate the focus and the discipline to experience it for yourself. The starting point I always give to people is buy a physical copy. To my surprise, I found that when I was saying the power of now, the strange thing is in this day and age, people are hearing that as some kind of audio book. When the hell did an audio become a book? It's an audio, it's music, it's MP3, it's whatever the hell it is. Do you know what I mean? It's audio. How the hell did it become a book? So when I was telling people, even on videos, I was receiving feedback, people saying, oh yeah, I've downloaded it and I'm listening to it when I'm driving. I'm listening to it when I'm, I don't know, cooking or some fucking cleaning my shoes or something. What? I said read the bloody book. Oh, but I can't read the book, I ain't got the focus. Yeah, well, tough titties, innit? You can't even read a book and you don't even know what a sorry state of affairs that is. Oh, I got ADHD. You have not got any ADHD nonsense. Step out of that bullshit and get your ass, read that damn book and learn how to focus. People just settling for bullshit in themselves and just, no. Buy a physical copy, read it cover to cover. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Read it cover to cover. 3 times. Then come back and comment again. And tell me, I've read it cover to cover, what do I do next? I'll tell you what to do next. Okay? Hope this answers your question. Thank you, Satyendra, for a fabulous question. Keep that attitude. That attitude is gold. Don't let that up. Don't trust anything except your own experience. Don't trust this video, right? And let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think, Satyendra. What do you think of this video? Did it answer your query? Did it help you along? I look forward to your comments. Walk in freedom. Never betray yourself. Really. Never betray yourself. Never betray your conscience. And walk in freedom. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.